Okay, guys, I am back, and as you can see, I've done a little bit of a transformation. I ended up deciding to go do some sand crabs. I was watching some movies, hanging out watching some TV, so I did a bunch of sand crabs. And I figured, you know what, you guys are big boys now, big boys and girls. You can figure out how to get these items on your own. We've already done this before, but I just went ahead and geared up. I got myself my Berserker helm back, made another Amulet of Strength. I went ahead and got a Mithril Plate body because I feel like I might get a fighter torso in the future, and I didn't really want to invest in a rune chain body or something. Um, but I might swap this out. I got some rune plate skirts. This is actually better than the rune plate legs, I believe, because I think it gives a lower carry weight than the rune plate legs. So I guess that's a little bit better. And then your rune gloves, climbing boots, so on, everything. We've got this before. I also death piled and I got my Ranar weeds and my snape grass out, and I will show you guys how to create the potions for this. And there's a method to make potions on Ultimate Ironman that you want to actually keep. So I'll show you guys how to do that. Just got everything else. Real quick though, before I forget, one other thing I want to do is actually get Bones to Peaches. I'm planning to use Bones to Peaches for this upcoming section, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. And at least I'm going to try it out. I'm going to see how effective it is, but I think it'll be worth it. I don't think we actually purchased it in the past, because I think you need to have 60 magic before you can actually purchase it, and we didn't have 60 magic at the time, or at least maybe I did but didn't bother with it. But I'm going to go and do this real quick, and then I will gear up. Well, I'm already geared up, and then we're going to go ahead and grab some more snape grass to match all of our Ranar weeds. And I'll show you how to do it. There's a place I go to that's really easy to pick everything up. If you just need a little bit, if you don't need a massive amount, it's a good place to go, and you can get a couple inventories relatively quickly, and that's all we need. Two or three inventories will be fine. All right, so come here, grab ourselves some Bones to Peaches. There we go. There we go. We have now learned how to use the Bones to Peaches spell. And even if I don't use this here at the Warriors Guild, it'll be a useful thing to have, just in general. Okay, so I got that unlocked, and now I'm going to come over here and do this, and then I'll show you guys how to get the snape grass and make some potions. And I don't know for sure if I'm going to use the potions for this grind or how I'm going to end up using them. I do have a pretty good amount of them, and I know from experience that they're not as precious as you might initially think. Okay, where am I going? Going here. Everybody is very stingy in their prayer potions, but realistically, you probably are, if you're not completely wasting them, you probably won't have that many issues with prayer potions. There's a lot of sources to get them. There's a lot of ways to get Ranars, so it's not as critical as you might think. So just using them is not a bad idea. If you don't use them, they're not doing anything for you. And I'm gonna have a pretty good number, maybe like 50 or 60 of them after the decanting. All right, so we're gonna come over here and continue on up to this peninsula, and there's a bunch of snake grass spawns up here that you can go ahead and pick up, and then you can run back to that vinery, and there's a tool leprechaun over there. So it's quite nice to go ahead and pick up snake grass. Wait, where's my snake grass? Okay, here it is. Okay, I was worried they might have reworked something and they removed my snake grass spawns. But up here, there's a whole bunch of snake grass you can pick up, and it's very convenient to go grab everything. But I'm gonna go ahead and do this for a little bit and grab enough snake grass for all of my Ranars, and I'll see you guys back in a second. Okay, here at the Grand Exchange, I'm going to go ahead and drop this for an inventory space. It'll be important here in a second. I guess I'll hold on to it for right the moment. Okay, so now we can unnote our potions and make them here, and then note them with Bob Barter, and we'll be able to save them. There is some efficient method. I haven't done this in a while, so I might not be doing it 100% efficiently because there are some optimizations. But notably, you can unnote them from right here. So this is a weird tile. You might not think you can unnote, but you can unnote your stuff all the way from this tile. And then you can run here. Well, I guess I need to get the other ones, but you can make your potions. And it's nice just when you have an even number of potions, of course. If you're doing a bunch of potions, you'd want to empty inventory, but we're not doing that many of them. But this is where you go, make your potions, and then you can decant them here at the guy. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and drop this. And I think there's some ways to... I just do it into 1 doses. I think there's a way to make it so they automatically sort them into the dosages you want. By like decanting into 3 and then decanting into 2, something like that. But I don't remember how to do it. But you can look that up if you want. But since I'm just doing a couple, I'm just going to do the drop method. But this is what you do. Just make your potions. You see we now have access to prayer potions. It was that easy. And I'm going to go ahead and knock out all of these potions. And as I said, I'm going to hold on to just the prayer potions at the moment. And I'm not going to make the super restores. I think that this will be plenty of prayer potions to last me throughout the rest of the guide, honestly. And, I'll get more Ranars as you go from various sources. So if I need more Ranars for something, I'll get them. But I think that this will be plenty. Okay, so now we're going to come in here. And I think you guys know how to... I'm assuming you guys know how to do the Warriors Guild. If you don't know how to do the Warriors Guild, just a quick rundown. We'll be killing some armor sets. We'll put the armor in here. We'll get some Warriors Guild tokens. We'll go upstairs and kill the Cyclopses there to get defenders. If you don't know how this works, then you can just look at the wiki page for the Warriors Guild and get an idea. But we're going for Rune Defender. It is worth mentioning that now we have access to potions. This is a big kind of... thing to remember now that we're here is that you do finally have access to these combat boosting potions. They aren't super potions, they're just normal tier potions, but this is a huge upgrade overall. Don't forget to use them, and we'll be using these for all this grind and future grinds. And I drank the potion. Okay, that's fine. I was gonna drink it anyway. And then you can also buy food here. This is also now a great source of food. The potatoes with cheese are classic food option for our Ironman accounts. All right, so I'll go ahead and slap these bad boys over here. Get some tokens. I don't know how much I'll show of this grind because I might just show getting the end or something if something notable comes up. But you guys know how to do the Warriors Guild. I'm just gonna get myself a Rune Defender. All right. Okay, guys, welcome back to the mid Cyclops Grind Invitational video. Anyway, but I am going to go ahead and get myself a fighter torso. I've been doing Cyclopses. I'm at Mithril Defender, going decent drop rates. I've also done a bunch of sand crabs. We've got about 200 Cyclopses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm actually bit under drop rate, so it's all been balancing out. Some of them are going over drop rate, some are going over or under, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the fighter torso now. I wasn't sure if I wanted to get one on this account, but I figured, you know what, it's for the guide, and I think the guide should get one, and it'll be useful to have later down the line, and it doesn't take that long to get. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. First thing I'm gonna do, also these peaches are awesome. The peaches allow you to really effectively sustain. Glad we got them, and they're very nice. Okay, guys, I'm here at the Barbarian Salt. It looks like I can bring this stuff in, so that's nice. And I'm going to just knock out the fighter torso. It takes a couple hours, but it's not too bad. I've got decent combat stats now. I've been doing a lot of sand crabs, so I'm pretty good combat. I'm 83 combat, more than ready to do Barbarian Assault, and it looked like an absolute beast. And let's go ahead and get this done. Get that +4 strength bonus, better defensive stats, and it is storable. The reason why you want to do this, if you're not aware, the reason why the fighter torso is so good on Ultimate Ironman is that it is storable individually in the POH. So you can just hold it there. You don't have to get a full set. You don't need the full pin set or anything. Just the fighter torso itself is storable, and it gives a great strength bonus. So even into the very late game, it's still a very good piece of gear. It's literally, your best strength gear piece until you get Torva, because even a Bandos chestplate is not, or is arguably really not better than the Fighter Torso because it can't be stored, whereas the Fighter Torso can be stored. It is notable that the Fighter Torso has a massive negative magic bonus. I think it's negative 40. But obviously, you're not really using the Fighter Torso that much while you're doing magic. But it is a difference. The Bandos chestplate is better for that, and it has better prayer bonus, better defense bonus, and whatnot. But usually, you're wearing the strength bonus gear for the strength bonus, and they are equal in that regard. So the Fighter Torso is just a very good late game, long term investment for only a couple hours. Very good piece of gear to knock out. Alright, so I will see you guys back when I have finished up Barbarian Assault. Okay guys, welcome back. I have been doing some Barbarian Assault, and shoutouts to my trusty alt here helping me out. Did the attacker role on that account, and then did the other roles on this account, kind of on the side, but I did a lot of leeching. Because you don't really need 2 attackers whenever one of them is max combat with a Venator bow, and of course level 5 attacker, so it makes it pretty chill. But sometimes I had to help out and do both accounts at once whenever some teammates were struggling. Either way, I now have the Penance Torso. There we go, Fighter Torso unlocked, and I guess I can sell that. But that's all. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the Warriors Guild, get myself that defender, but now with a nice +4 strength bonus, and we'll go from there. Hey guys, I'm just gonna pop in really quick to remind you to also go ahead and get the penance gloves while you're at it. I mentioned this in the previous section, but I did not think to get the penance gloves at the same time as my Fighter Torso, but of course in hindsight, hey, excuse me, I'm also super laggy right now. But go ahead and grab them. They're only, 150 points in each roll. It's really not that bad, and they are storable in your house, so it's not required, but I think they're pretty nice to have because I like running and not walking as much as possible. Okay guys, I am now done with the defender grind for now. I actually just got the rune defender almost back to back with the adamant defender. You can see I literally still have it on the ground, and I'm going to go ahead and drop the adamant defender now. And this went pretty well. I got 250 cyclopses on the dot, so under drop rate I think it's 350 cyclopses on average to get all of them, if I did my math right, but this went relatively smoothly for me. I've had accounts where I go way over drop rate though, so it all balances out. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't, but this time I got pretty good. So right now, you would think that you're going to get a Dragon Defender, and you can. It's there's nothing wrong with getting a Dragon Defender now, but I'll tell you, I don't recommend it. And the reason for that is the Dragon Defender takes a while to get. It's a 1 in 100 drop rate rather than 1 in 50, and the Cyclopses downstairs down here are much higher level, so it takes much longer to get the Dragon Defender, and if you go unlucky, it can take you quite a long time, especially if your levels lower combat. I've got a lot of sand crabs under my belt, so I'm higher combat level than you probably will be. But if you're just in the mid 60s combat levels, it really takes a long time to get that defender. So you don't necessarily want to do it because it's only a slight upgrade from the rune defender. And once you turn this dude in, you can talk to this guy, this girl, I guess, and you should be able to show her the rune defender. And once you do that, I have a rune defender right here. There you go. So I should be able to enter into this area. There we go, I can. But the thing is that I don't need the Rune Defender to do this in the future. Let's double check this. So if I drop the Rune Defender, I don't have it anymore. So the game doesn't know I have a Rune Defender. I should be able to still go in here. Let me double check. See, there we go. So even though I don't have a Rune Defender, I'm still able to get into the Cyclops area because I've shown her a Rune Defender in the past. And that's the difference. I can use this defender for the grinds. I'm going to do some Slayer, but
I'll be able to drop it afterward, clean up the inventory slot, and then later, maybe down the line, I might come back for a Dragon Defender, but I won't necessarily be beholden to it, and can just get rid of it. And it's a pretty nice thing to have. So I would recommend doing that and not committing to the Dragon Defender right at the moment. Come back later. Anyway, I'm gonna cut this now because I gotta figure out what the hell I want to do next, and I might just go back to some sand crabs, everything. But I just wanted to show you this. All right. Hey guys, I'm just gonna pop in here really quick and talk about the Defender briefly. So I do think that getting a Room Defender is a good idea, but something to keep in mind is that if you do want to go for the Dragon Defender, because you got the higher level construction in this guide, assuming you got level 80 construction, then you do actually have the ability to boost and create this inconspicuous crate, this master stash unit. It's here in the Warriors Guild. And you can put a Slayer Helm, a Dragon Battle Axe, and a Dragon Defender all together and put it in this crate. So it is actually a way to store the Dragon Defender. And if you did get that construction, and you are willing to stick out this upcoming Slayer grind farther than the guide intends, there's nothing wrong with doing that. It's perfectly fine. Then you could get yourself that black mask, make a Slayer helmet, and put it in here. And that is just an option to consider for kind of the long-term health of your account. Having a stored Dragon Defender isn't so bad. Anyway, also, just quickly remind you if you don't think about this, but the Dragon Defender requires 60 defense to use. So before you grab it, you need a 45 defense and then just get the drop and then realize you can't wear it. That's happened to me on previous accounts. You do need, it is a dragon item, so you need 60 defense to use it. So just keep that in mind when you're making your decisions. Anyway, I will see you in a second. Okay, guys, welcome back. I am decided that I'm going to continue on and do Slayer point boosting. I think this is the time to do it. I'm You're trying to think of things I need to do first, but honestly, we're just gonna knock it out. And if I think of anything else in the future that I should have done before I started this, then I'll just add it in for you guys. But I believe I'm ready to go. As you can see, I made some changes already. I got some of these jewelry created. Figured that you guys didn't need to see me do that. You've seen me make jewelry already plenty of times on this account, and you don't need to see that. Other than that, I did note some like pro potions again, and I don't need combat boosting potions for this right at the moment. I just want to keep my inventory slots free, but I'll probably grab some before I start on my tasks. But this is a method to get you Slayer points early on in the account. The whole purpose is to get your block list, get your unlocks, get all those things going early on to get a initial jump start to Slayer points. And then after that, you can go to normal Slayer if you'd like. You can boost a bunch, but the goal will probably be to get to 100 tasks, which sounds like a lot, but it's actually not quite as bad as you'd think because you're going to be doing 90% of those tasks, literally 90% of the tasks at Turiel, which is the lowest level Slayer Master, and his tasks are really easy. So then on every 10th task, we're going to go to Konar, who gives the highest points per task, at least that we have available with some diaries that I think she goes higher. But I guess she is still the highest points task. I think she just gets more points when you get the diary, from what I remember. Either way, you're just going to go here to Turiel and get a task from him, and on every 10th task, you're going to go to Konar. If you mess up, then it kind of sucks because you waste your points. Now, you can do this too, so make sure every 10th task goes to Turiel. It could be easy to kind of get in the groove of doing this and then not realize and accidentally grab your 10th task from Turiel, and then it kind of sucks. You just wasted a bunch of time. Now, you can go to 50 tasks if you would like. So, cave slimes. Alright, I'll go into this setup in a section. But, you could go to 50 tasks, but I recommend going all the way to 100. And that is because you want to do this now before you complete Dragon Slayer 1. And the thing that's notable, this route is intentionally doing this now because you don't have Dragon Slayer 1 started, and that means you won't receive any dragon tasks from Konar, which is pretty important because the dragon tasks are quite bad for you right now. You don't want to be able to get metal dragons, you don't want to get like blue dragons, they're not so terrible. Blue dragons, for example, isn't so terrible, but stuff like red dragons and the metal dragons are really not very good tasks for you to get, and you can't receive any of them until you start Dragon Slayer 1. But you want to do Dragon Slayer 1 eventually. It's an important quest that's also gates many other important quests, so you need to get it done. So we get around that by doing the Slayer point boosting. That'll give you a lot of Slayer points to work up as blocks, as skips, so that once you get those dragon tasks in the future, you'll be able to skip them as needed. And eventually, they're not so bad tasks once you get better gear, get better unlocks. You can do the tasks, but this moment you don't want to deal with it. So, I don't know how much I'm going to actually show of this as far as video clips. I am considering, rather than coming here to Birth Orb to get the tasks from this guy, you can also get tasks from Spria, not here, in Draenor Village from her, and you could run all the way from the Draenor Manor. And this is a longer walk to get to the Slayer Master between tasks, but it is also doesn't require inventory slots to hold on to the game's necklaces. But I think that it's gonna still be worth it to do this because you only need almost one game's necklace per set of 10 tasks, and they're not that hard to get back. But I'll workshop it. I'll see what I think is better, and you will need a light source and a bunch of other items. I'm not going to do a full guide, I don't think, on, at least not in this video section, on how to do Slayer point boosting. There are good handy locations for each one of the tasks. For example, these cave slimes, I know that you can go to a fairy ring. There's a fairy ring location that you can go to cave slimes. I know on the wiki there is a list of locations to go to. Some of them are not the best for this low level, but most of them are pretty good. I know, like the Ardougne Zoo, for example, we would need to get a ranged weapon for the Ardougne Zoo for monkeys. If I get monkeys, I'll probably do that because monkeys anywhere other than the Ardougne Zoo for monkeys is pretty terrible. There's not that many monkeys all around, at least low level ones that we could kill. Anyway, I will go from there, and I'll come back maybe when I get 10, I get my 9 tasks done, and we'll go from there. We'll see what I record. All right.
Okay, guys, I'm back. I now have completed 9 tasks from Turiel. This didn't actually take very long at all. It was pretty chill. Also, I luckily am happy to report that I don't really think I need this many rings of dueling for doing this. I kind of forgot that you restore your run energy while you're doing the task, so I don't quite need this many, which will be nice. But now I have 9 completed. It is important to remember that you need to stop when it says 9 tasks. Or, don't wait until it says 10, because if it says you've completed 10, that means that was your 10th task. That's how it trips you up. You see 9, you think, oh, I got to do one more at Turiel, but actually, no, you do the next one at Konar because you want the 10th one to be at Konar. I've made that mistake many times over my years of doing this, but we are going to now go to Konar and get ourselves a task. You can see I got some anti-poisons from the Karamja General Store and just noted them, and I went ahead and noted my prayer potions, but I don't know if I'll use the prayer potions or not. They will kind of depend on what tasks I get, but if I get a really bad task, that especially one that I can't use Bone to Peaches very well, then I might use protection from melee. But it kind of depends on what you get. I guess I can go to Battlefront. I'm actually not sure which one's faster, to go to Battlefront or to take the fairy ring, but I think it's just faster to take this Battlefront. Yeah, this is probably better because the fairy ring is right there, but then you'd have to run all the way to the salve teleport and then take the fairy ring. So I think this is better. But also, it's nice that we have the agility level for this. This is just one of the many things that's positive about having done agility early, is that you have access to this agility shortcut, and you wouldn't otherwise if you were stingy about agility training and stopped lower levels. You'd have to run all the way around. It's kind of annoying. So let's see what we get here. Konar, be nice. Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, 100 Caliphites in the Caliphite layer. That one's actually really good. I can do that one super fast because you can kill the lower level Caliphites. So Konar can be generous on the tasks. It's overall usually not too bad because you don't have the metal dragons, but sometimes they're bad, and once you get some points on your belt, you can skip them if that's a really bad task. The very first one, If you get a really bad task, you can go just back to Turiel and have him reset your streak if you really want to. But it's kind of up to you to decide. I don't think there's any, terrible tasks that are that bad that you can't do. Also, it's worth mentioning that on these tasks for Konar, you don't really need to worry so much about keeping all the loot. You have alchemy spells for everything you need, and I mean you can if you get ensouled heads, you can pick them up. But most importantly, I'm talking about the just random ass herbs you get, the random grimy herbs you get. I wouldn't stress so much about trying to collect them, even if it's like a Ranar or Snapdragon or something. The amount of herbs you get from farming seeds that we've gotten here completely dwarfs the amount of herbs you're going to get from monster drops, unless it's a specific monster that drops a lot of herbs. Then maybe you could consider it, but even then your inventory is going to fill up completely. Later on you'll get an herb sack, and we don't have the herb lord level to get the herb sack yet. You have to have like 50 something herb lord to buy it. Hey, he gives me a lamp. I'll take him. He's nice. So you can't really get the herb sack right now. We'll probably get it after Legends Quest, or at least you'll be able to get it after Legends Quest. So don't worry about it. Let the herbs go, and accept that you're going to lose a little bit of herb lore experience. It's really not that big of a deal. Later on, the herb sack will make collecting those herbs very easy if that's something you want to do. We'll see where we end up. Hey guys, I'm just gonna pop in with a quick tip that I didn't think of while I was doing those other recordings, and that is if you get a bad task, you can actually complete the Poor Sign of Interest quest, and it gives you 30 Slayer points, which is enough to do one skip. So you have one skip in your back pocket to get you started out, and hopefully you don't get get multiple bad tasks in a row. But just wanted to throw that out there. Hey guys, a little another clip here. So I am going to go ahead and complete the Slug Menace quest. I got myself a task that calls for it, which is Greater Demons in Chasm of Fire. So you have that task. I also got a Black Demons task, which I skipped. I think I said in the previous clip there weren't any bad tasks. That was wrong. I forgot about Black Demons. Whenever I go through the guide more in detail, I'll probably pick out any bad tasks. But Black Demons, I got Black Demons in the Brimhaven dungeon, and Lord knows I was not going to be doing that, so I skipped that one. Luckily, I had some points, but if that was my first task, I would have just reset my task streak and not done it. Anyway, I am going to complete Slug Menace because the Greater Demons don't drop bones, and that makes the Bones to Peaches strategy, which I'm relying on, not very effective. So I'm going to go ahead and get it done. The proselyte outfit is just a really good thing to have, and it'll be useful for the entire account, and it's storeable in the POH, so you might as well get it done. Something to note is that I'm pretty sure that you can use the Guardians of the Rift minigame to get to the altars, and you have to like create the pieces before you go in the minigame because you can't bring pure essence in there, but I think you can bring the shards. I'm hoping that's the case at least, because otherwise it's going to be a pain in the butt to get all the talismans, especially since I didn't get the elemental or catalytic talisman from Guardians of the Rift. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and knock out this quest. It shouldn't be too bad, and then I'll get myself back on to Slayer. Okay guys, there we go. That is the Slug Menace quest completed. Quite nice. I don't believe I need this, but I'll double check. But now I should be able to buy the proselyte armor. There we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and buy the full proselyte set, and this has I don't think it's no longer best in slot prayer bonus, but it's basically best in slot prayer bonus for any time within any reason. It's very good. The plate body gives +8 prayer bonus. That's massive. +6 for the legs. Only +4 for the helmet, but it's not bad. You still want to buy the helmet though, because it'll be required to store it in your house. And now I can go ahead and drop these cakes. And now you have good prayer gear. I'm also going to go ahead and replace this. I'm not going to worry about keeping the rune plate skirt on me because I don't want to. I'm just going to replace it with this one. It's better. So there you go. I don't really need that, and I can go ahead and put these other items in the house. I'll show you that
and I'll decide which ones I'll use. I might go ahead and use the plate body, maybe even the helm for this task too, because you know, +4 strength bonus is nice, but +8 prayer bonus is quite nice as well. I believe it's the armor case actually. We'll see in here. I gotta take these out, but this is part of why this set is so nice, is that you can store it in here. There you go. And one thing to keep in mind is that you can partially store the set. So even though I put them in one piece at a time, but in order to get the helmet back out, I have to put the full set back in, and then I can take them all out. But that's allows you to store one at a time. Also, I guess I will go ahead and put the fighter torso in. So I'm going to put this in here, put that in there, and you see the fighter torso is very nice because it can just do that. And there you go. I'm geared up for a prayer task, and I have a lot of prayer, and that way I can use protection from melee for much longer without wasting my prayer potions, without having to go back as much. So it's very, very nice to have, and a very useful unlock. Okay, guys, welcome back. That was quite the grind for me, at least for over a couple of days. But I have now completed 10 tasks here at Konar with our 100 Slayer tasks total. We can see I now have about 1100 points. I did block Hellhounds, and I did skip a couple tasks, so I'd have a couple more points. I also did unlock Reptile Freezer because nobody wants to manually use those ice coolers on the lizards. It's obnoxious, so I went and knocked that out. So real quick, we're going to spend some of these points right away before you kind of just waste them on anything else. We're going to buy hot stuff. This will allow you to get Jad tasks in the future, so you want to make sure you get that. Bigger and badder, of course, lock this in. And see if there's anything else. You can go for task storage, but you really don't need to at the moment. If you wanted to keep point boosting in the future, you might go for task storage, but I wouldn't go for it right at the moment. And then let's go ahead, and I won't get anything else at the moment, but try and save your points for broader fletching and ring bling. This one's not as important, but broader fletching is quite nice if you want to go down that route for fletching. It's a very good way to get fletching. You can also extend your points, but I would leave it for there. At least get those two locked in, but save your points. Blocks, I'd probably block black demons. If you get black demons at some point during this grind, block them. I think Hellhounds are also a good block if you don't like doing hard clue scrolls. I don't like doing hard clue scrolls. This guide doesn't assume you really do them, and they're not really that efficient to do in the first place, especially not this early on in your account. If you're going to go for hard clue scrolls, you'd probably be better off waiting a bit longer before you stress about doing them. Anyway, so I'm also going to open up the brimstone chest. So let's find out what I got. I ended up with 5 keys. Not too much, but you know, we'll see if I get anything worth keeping. Okay. Okay, some iron ore. Okay. Oh, okay, palm tree seeds. Those are nice. I guess I can alch these rune plate legs real quick. I'll do this real quick here. I don't know if this iron ore is really worth anything. If you get coal with I don't know. I'm not gonna hold on to this. I don't really think I need iron ore for anything. You can always buy iron ore at the blast furnace, but 1,000 iron ore, I don't know. I don't really think it's gonna be useful. And the guide isn't gonna assume you have it, of course. I will go ahead and toss these. Oh wait, I have to. I did get something to talk about is that the seeds you get. I said that you shouldn't worry about picking up the grimy herbs, but you should of course get the seeds. The seed drops, especially if you get a Dagonoth task, like on Dagonoths in Catacombs of Korund or something. You can do that. I went and got this cactus seed just in case I need it for a farming contract in the future, so might as well hold on to it. I don't know. Maybe I won't. I won't anymore because it's taking up space. But while I had this space, I was holding on to it. What was I saying? Yeah, you want to make sure you hold on to the seeds, the herb seeds. They are worth getting. They are worth farming. And you get so many more herbs from those seed tasks, like the Dagonoths that drop lots of seeds, than you will from the random herb drops, at least until you get the herb sack and can pick them up. Also, something I want to talk about before I forget is the fact that you are doing Slayer and you don't have full gear. You know, the efficiency gamer throughout this entire grind, the efficiency gamer in me really was hating the fact that we don't have a full proper gear setup for Slayer. You know, you don't have a fire cape, you don't have a berserker ring, you don't have Barrow's gloves. Barrow's gloves obviously make sense. You know, we didn't go for the Dragon Defender for, you know, good reason. We didn't get a Nezi. You know, we don't have enough quest points to get a full, you know, to get more blocks, so on. I mean, we don't have piety. You know, there's a bunch of unlocks you can get to make Slayer more effective. But the thing is that right now, this is just a little bit of Slayer. Don't stress so much about getting those Slayer unlocks. And I know this from experience. I've been down this road before. I've played the Ultimate Ironman before, and I know that going for those extra unlocks costs a lot of time. So like the Berserker ring is the most significant one I've spent the most time thinking about, and you have to remember that going for the Berserker ring prematurely will most likely cost you more time than it saves you. Also, you have a ring already. You're gonna lose an inventory spot if you go for the Berserker ring and you imbue it. It's untradeable. It doesn't go in the looting bag. You're gonna kind of get stuck between using the Berserker ring or the Ring of Elements. It's kind of clumsy, and also you don't want to do Rex off task. You get a lot of Slayer experience. It might not be fast Slayer experience, but it does add up over the course of the drop rate to get the Berserker ring and the Dragon Axe. It's like 50,000 Slayer experience, you know, roughly. And of course, if you go dry, it could be even more. But that's quite a bit of Slayer experience. And if you do it now before you have a task for Dagonos, then you're gonna waste all that experience. Not to mention you're gonna be stuck with the extra rings. And if you do it right now, you have to pay a bunch of money for runes. You'll have to, you know, buy a bunch of death runes or whatnot. So all said, just enjoy a little bit of Slayer. You're getting the Slayer requirement for quests for Sins of the Father and Perilous Moons, and you're chilling. That's why we didn't go for the Dragon Defender. We can hold on to everything. So it's okay if you don't have the full proper gear setup. You can come back to it later, but for now, just accept that it's okay to do, you know, 10 tasks at Konar with slightly suboptimal gear. Alrighty, guys. And with that, I am going to wrap up this episode. We have now gotten through our little Slayer grind, our little Fort Slayer. You can see that I'm finished with the whole guide, and I still only have 53 Slayer. I didn't end up needing to go back or anything, and, you know, I was just fine. And I do want to have a few words. I did talk about this in just the previous clip, so I won't go too much. But realistically, there is a lot you could do for Slayer, and that is up to you. I don't really care what you do. You know, if you want to go for those unlocks, if you want to get some more upgrades, you know, do you. If you want to get Barrow's gloves ahead of time and use the Barrow's gloves and the Dragon Battle Axe before you do Slayer point boosting, and then just risk it, you roll the dice on your dragon tasks, I mean, that's perfectly fine. You know, if you want to stick out Slayer and go for more rather than stopping here, get that black mask, for example. I mentioned in the previous clip, you could get a Slayer helmet and store a Dragon Defender. You know, you could go for Dust Devils. Getting 65 Slayer and killing Dust Devils could give you Dust Runes in your rune pouch, which is a really nice thing to have. You know, you could go for 69 in order to get the requirement for Monkey Madness 2. You get a bunch of loot drops on the way. So there's a ton of options, and you're just gonna have to kind of decide what you want to do. But for now, we're going to stop with the requirements for the quests and continue on our progress, and we'll go from there.